Yet again, it's another Christmas horror movie, and it's actually another Krampus movie as well. This one is 2015's Krampus The Reckoning. Now, in 2015, this is actually the third movie that's been released that kind of really has a focus on Krampus as the kind of bad guy. You've obviously got this one, Krampus The Reckoning. You've got the kind of the bigger budget movie just called Krampus coming out in December. And you've also had Christmas Horror Story, which I have reviewed recently on the channel as well. There's actually a fourth one that was released in the UK called Krampus the Christmas Devil, though that was actually released in 2013. So there's a whole lot of Krampus going on. So what is Krampus The Reckoning about then? Well, it's probably like you'd expect. This one focuses on Krampus as this kind of like horned, kind of devilish creature. And it basically focuses on the investigation of a young girl's kind of like foster parents as they're kind of murdered. And this kind of girl is super overacting, basically, and she's kind of like been put under kind of observation and is kind of watched by this kind of child psychologist kind of woman. And you know, she's kind of acting very kind of strange and kind of like obviously seems to know she's got this kind of this little Krampus doll. She's got little handcuffs. When she uncuffs, bad stuff happens. And basically, Krampus, in case you don't know, is the kind of the anti-Christmas spirit, and he goes after the kind of mean and bad people. And that's pretty much what this creature does. Basically, pretty much goes after anyone who is kind of like mean-spirited and kind of bad in some way, and this kind of has a connection to this kind of young girl. So that's all I'll really tell you about the plot. It's not a bad plot, I have to say, for a kind of a low-budget B-movie. It does have serious budget restrictions, and that's kind of evident throughout the entire movie. But let's talk about the positives first of all. For a start, considering the budget, I don't think this movie is too badly shot. It's like, I think the people who have made this movie, director Robert Conway, actually does a pretty decent job of making some fairly good shots here. Again, it's all kind of done with kind of the lower budget kind of stuff here, but it looks reasonably well lit, fairly well shot and everything like that. Like I said, the plot for it, kind of a B movie, is it's not overly complex and a little rushed in places. I think it's a fairly kind of intriguing plot, really, of a bit of a mystery involved in this kind of young girl. The main issues here are going to be the acting, first of all. Not fantastic, I have to say. The cast, obviously, relatively sort of amateur acting, I would suggest to you. They do a decent enough job of making you look like the kind of regular people. They're not the kind of your typical kind of Hollywood type, so to speak. But the kid, who's certainly the focus of certainly the first half of the movie. Oh my god, she's so overacts. It's ridiculous. But the other actors I don't fare much better, to be honest with you. And I quite like the design. He's kind of pretty ghoulish looking, although he is a CGI creation. It's, again, this is where the budgetary kind of constraints coming. It's a very sort of sci-fi movie channel style sort of creature here, so it really kind of obviously sort of CGI. Obviously, I don't know if the budget would have stretched to sort of some shots made up. I mean, it's not like it's kind of a skeletal looking face. I would have imagined, I wouldn't have thought it would have been too hard to kind of make that makeup, but whatever. We've got a kind of CGI creature, and whilst I kind of like the design, like I said, it does look quite obviously CGI, and it kind of just takes you out the movie, unless you are kind of like a person who enjoys the kind of the sci-fi movie films, then you'll probably like this one. Like I said, I think it certainly has some elements that are okay. Probably a little bit higher budget than Krampus the Christmas Devil, which was mega low budget. This one, I would say, has a little bit more sort of budget towards it, but even so, it still has a lot of kind of the same shortcomings. If you like B movies, kind of like you like your Christmas films, it's not a scary film. But like I said, if you're a sci-fi movie fan, you may check this one out. But overall, it's kind of a little bit weaker in the kind of the major areas, I would have to say. So I am going to give this movie a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.